some people, younger people my age that I've been talking to, they feel lost in life, not really sure what, say there's a fork in the road, they don't know what job they should take, and because of this feeling of being lost, it kind of leads to like a depression because you feel like, well, who am I? And so if you haven't really figured that out, yeah, it kind of leads to not feeling like a full person. So just kind of advice for these sort of people.
That is the ultimate question. No, really, seriously, and you hit the nail on the head saying it's causing problems. There's a lot of depression out there, a lot of anxiety, because you got a world out there right now where knowledge is instantaneous. Knowledge, not wisdom. In other words, Siri, who won the 1964 World Series? Boom, you got it at your fingertips, right? Whatever you want to know is there. You go online, you want to talk to somebody, boom, you got them across the world. Instantaneously, you can talk to them on Zoom, Skype, Facebook. Everything is, but the real deep questions of life. Who are we? And why you're here are the same deep questions that everybody back from Aristotle and Socrates and the great ones, Jesus, everybody's asked. It's a never-ending question. I'll tell you how I approached it. Maybe somebody else used the same method. To me, I wanted to define what's my purpose. I figure what's my purpose. I figure out what my purpose is. That will kind of define why I'm here and what I should be doing and where I'm going. At first, I thought my purpose was, saving the world, all kinds of big, glorious, big things. And then I realized in each moment, I have a purpose. Let's take this thing in small steps. In this moment, my purpose is, like I'm doing this video, this purpose is to inspire. Why do I inspire people? Because I want them to get in touch with the love that's inside of them and realize that the love is outside of them, inside of them, it's all everywhere. It's all about search for our oneness with God. So in the very essence of your purpose is to help others and yourself, because you can't do it if you don't have it within yourself, but to help all of us, and we're all one, reunite, become one again. That's why all the opposites out there, man and woman, right? They want to get together, reunite. You become one when you got, your better half, you got a partner, right? Whether that's whatever it is philosophically. We're always looking for something that matches us, takes on the void. But I found that when I serve my higher purpose, and that's giving love, not seeking it out. When I learn to listen to others instead of just talk to them, videos aside, pardon me. But if I learn to be empathetic, sympathetic, instead of seeking to be understood and get sympathy and empathy, don't seek and take. Give. So if you're a young person and you find yourself always out after the next thing, and the thing could be material stuff, job, career. It can also be good stuff, like you're seeking enlightenment, you're seeking success, you're seeking peace of mind, but you're always seeking something. God, the divine, is a no thing. And so if people learn to not seek things and just be, that's it. Just be, don't do. Don't do, be you. So even when they pray or they meditate, they're still seeking. Most people think of God as Santa Claus. They have this thing where when you pray, I need a new job, I need a new Mercedes-Benz, I got pain, take it away. I got a bad marriage, help me deal with that. Whatever it is, even guys with so-called good stuff. All I want is enlightenment. I'm just seeking enlightenment. Well, great, you're seeking something. You're seeking peace, you're seeking understanding, you're seeking help. When you communicate with God, it should be to give love. Give love. It's nothing about getting anything back. So to get back to a young person, they got to take a look at their life and say, what am I giving? Let's go back to JFK, right? John F. Kennedy. Ask not what your country could do for you, but what you can do for your country. I'm telling people, ask not what you can do for yourself, but what can you do for others? Because in helping others, you're really helping yourself. I don't care if it's a Peace Corps, if you're a school teacher, a fireman, if you're sweeping the floor, cleaning toilets, if you're a maid, it makes no difference. If you look at all real work in life as noble, guy cleaning the toilet, that's a noble job. Just as much as a CEO, if he doesn't do his job, people are sick. This guy doesn't do his job, people will make money. Everybody's needed. It's all pieces of the puzzle. But if you do your jobs in life and take your responsibilities, meaning if you see somebody hurt alongside the road, you don't walk by. You got a responsibility. Be a good Samaritan in the truest sense. If you're going by a homeless person and you don't want to, I can't give money to every homeless person, so you just, and you left them a bad thought. If you can't help them money, give a prayer, silent prayer. And that night when you go to bed, pray for that person. Send them love, not judgment. So when you ever have the opportunity to give love and understand others, do it. So choosing a career, I tell people it's like a cultural thing. It's like choosing a religion. Oh, what religion is? They all work. They all work. God don't care. But don't be a hypocrite. Whatever religion you choose, be that. Say, go to the mass, do your rosary, whatever it is that you light your candles, burn your incense, do your pujas, whatever it is that you're supposed to do. If you're going to follow a religion, follow it. Great. If you have your own, great, do your own. But don't do this ego trip where what's in it for you? And what's in it for you may not be what's good for everybody else. So you got to separate that from the whole. So telling people that they have to learn to see everybody else as themselves, you really do. People say, how come you don't get mad at these people? Because I went back to Vietnam and I met people I fought against. There's no anger, there's no hate, there's no resentment. He was doing his dharma, I was doing my dharma, never anger. You got to see everybody as a reflection of your oneness with God. Everybody is the same. So you and I, we're both just students learning life. We teach each other. We help each other. Symbiotic relationship. If you're really in tune with everything, you're giving and you're taking. You can't just be a giver all your life because you don't allow anybody else, to give you anything. That's a lesson I learned many years after I should have learned it. Whereas I'm helping everybody else. I'm giving, and I don't need any help, and I don't need a hug, I'm good. And I deny all those other people their opportunity for good karma and for them to extend themselves and them to feel good. So if somebody wants to render you a good kindness and service and compassion, let them do it. Why would you deny them the opportunity to get that good karma, to feel good? So young people got to realize that it's not all about them, but everything they do for others ultimately is the greatest selfishness in the world, because whatever you give, you get back. It's never ending. You keep giving love, I'll tell you what, it comes back. It may not come back from the same person, same source, but the universe doesn't waste anything. It'll come back. And you go, well, I don't see all these bad things. Well, you don't know what your karma, you're paying your karma, you got a debt. So you don't know when this piggy bank starts to pay. You're depositing money for the future. That's okay. Maybe it's not going to be instant. You're going to see good stuff. But you're always working for the future. So you're living in the now. If you're thinking kind thoughts and doing good things, taking care of your health, well, the next now will be a better place. So you just keep doing that. So career choice, I think there's too much emphasis put on this. I hear all these young people giving advice. Every time I see a graduation ceremony video, get a job that you love to do, move where you love to live, marry somebody. You know, I'm saying, no, I got just the opposite advice. Whatever job you have, love doing your job, whatever it is. You want to move on to something else because you love it greater, great. But don't dislike what you're doing. You know, love where you're at, love what you do, and love who you're with. Okay? It all matters. But if everybody followed this at graduation, I see in college graduation when the guy goes, don't get a job, something you don't love doing. Well, I said, well, gee whiz, I like to scuba dive and I like to surf, you know, and it's not going to be too many jobs for, come on. I love to do a lot of things, laying in the sun, you know, and drink, you know. So just because you love to do it doesn't mean that's what you should do. I mean, if you love doing something, do it, great. But you also have obligations. If you're doing something you love to do and there's no money there and your family's starving and you got kids and you haven't got any money and you're on the street, but you're loving doing what you're doing because you're a street entertainer, you're playing a guitar and you're collecting $7 a day in a kitty jar, but you're having fun, but your family's starving, right? That's no sense. You're better off getting a job post office or driving a truck, right? Now you can feed your family. So you have to be practical. Today, we don't need any more monk biggermen. In other words, the old day, the monks walk around, you'd fill their bowl. And we don't need that now. There's too many people out there that are poor. There's too many homeless people out there. We don't need anybody else taken. Because you're out there, the great monk with a great potential, you're taking money away from the guy that's the best he could do. How dare you? You took his street corner where he could have got the money, right? So people have to reflect on the ultimate purpose. And the ultimate purpose is for not just you and I to evolve, but for the family of man to evolve. This is a family. It's all of us. So literally what happens to the least of us does affect us. And we are our brother's keeper. We really are. What happens to our brothers and sisters is important. We should feel their pain. We should, you know, if they're hungry, we should be there to try to do what we can do. So the 20s is the time you set the tone and the pathway for where you're going to be when you're my age. I've told this to young guys many years ago. Now they're in their 40s and they're still just barely left home. They're living in a garage someplace because they want to be in California, where everything's the most crazy, ridiculous prices, but they don't want to leave LA or they don't want to leave the Bay Area. So they're paying $1,200 a month to live in some walk-in closet. I mean, literally walk-in closet with bathroom privileges. I'm going, at some point in time, you have to be practical. That's one end. And then there's the other end. I got young friends that have just, well, I want to be a monk, you know, and they go back and forth where they want to be a monk and give up everything and, you know, not really work and then go to India for 3 or 4 months, then come back, work a few months. Well, you know what? They're never going to get ahead. And by working regularly, they can help promote whatever ideas they want through their philanthropy, through their giving money to others and through their own hard labor. If others have to support you, you're taking something from society. So when you can be self-sufficient and have the means to be self-sufficient, I tell people, be self-sufficient. You can still be a householder monk because being a monk is an inside job. You can work 8 to 10, take care of everything, but then go home at night. You go into your meditation room and that's your cave. Meditate as long as you want. It's what you carry up here and in here, your heart. So it's not what you do. It's not who you're with. It's not where you're at. It's all about love. So if you love where you're at, love what you do, and love who you're with, you solve the problem. Not mean you shouldn't try to get a promotion, get ahead, improve yourself. Yeah, that's all great. But love what you're doing. Don't hate it. I used to work way back, post office. I've been retired about 20 years. I used to work post office, supervising people, and this guy tell me, I hate this damn place. I hate the post office. It's terrible. I don't like the way they treat me. How long have you been here? 35 years. So why don't you quit? Oh, are you crazy? I ain't gonna get another job like this. But you hate it. Yeah, I know. I've hated it for 35 years. How terrible. I mean, if you're that level, leave. I mean, come on. So you can either leave or adjust your attitude. Say, well, you know what? This job is good. It works for me. It feeds me. There's a reason why I'm here. And when you serve people, and all real jobs are service. I don't care if you're a bartender, you're serving somebody, you're listening to a guy's sad story, you give him a drink. There's different levels of service, and some are good karma and some are like questionable. But whatever you do, do it out of love. Paramahansa Yogananda had one of his favorite books was called Practicing the Presence by Brother Lawrence, who was a monk in the, I don't know, 15th, 16th, 17th century. I'm not sure when. But this was a monk that everybody thought was a little slow in the head. He wasn't too bright. And so all the rest of the monks, they would spend all their time chanting, praying, having formal ceremonies, doing masses, doing all this stuff. And he was cleaning the toilets, doing the gardening, sweeping the place, cleaning the kitchen, doing the shopping. And after about 20 years or more, the abbot goes, we're all unhappy. The only guy that's happy in this whole monastery is Brother Lawrence. How come? How come he's happy all the time? So they talked to him, and when they interviewed him, and then that's when the head of the monastery, the abbot, decided to have it all written down. That's how the book came about. But basically, what he did was, even though he wasn't invited to go to all the formal masses and to say all the rosary and do all the special prayers and learn Latin and all that stuff, when he swept the floors, did the gardening, whatever he did, he treated it like it was mass. I'm doing this for you, Jesus. I'm sweeping the floor for you, Jesus. I love you, Jesus. I love you cleaning the toilets. I love you, Jesus. Whatever it was. He didn't need a formal time, a formal place to love God. And when the abbot read that, he says, this has got to be in a book. So they published it, and basically telling people, practicing the presence. You heard the term, that's where it came from. It's everything that you do is saturated with the love of God. So to get back to the original question, what people should do is please God. So obviously you got some restrictions. If you take a look at, I got one simple measurement stick. One end of this measurement stick's over here in the light, and the other's in total darkness. Or what you're planning to do in a course journey you're going to take, is that leading you closer to the light, to love, to truth, to compassion, to healing, all these things? Or is it here going that direction, closer to the darkness? Fear, anger, hate, resentment, jealousy, greed, lust, all those things. So not judging right or wrong, just take a look at whatever you're going to do in your life, especially if you're young. Let's see, if I do drugs every day, is that taking me to the light, or is that taking me to the dark? Is drugs creating fear and anxiety in me? That'd be going to the darkness, right? Is my uncontrolled lust all the time, chasing people? Is that taking me to the dark, or is that taking me? Simple as that. Is helping this person, this homeless person? Is that it's helping you go to the light. You're passing judgments on people. That's taking you to the darkness. Simple as that. So if you have this light and darkness thing, and the only person you judge in life is your motives. Don't judge anybody else, because you have no clue where they're coming from. What somebody's doing has an appearance of being something, but you don't really know what's inside. So it's like the police officer. You see him, he's standing over in the corner, he's got a gun, and he just shoots this guy, and the guy drops down, and you go, oh my God. And you got that on your video thing. Oh, this cop just shot this guy. Well, what you didn't see was about 3 feet away from that, the guy had a gun himself, and he was going to shoot this woman. So he shot before the guy shot him. You see, you don't know. So his motive was what? It was motive of this cop to just kill this guy, or was the motive to save the woman's life? So, but then you don't even know if that's the true motive, because then you got to go, well, did he have time to talk this guy out of it? Was the guy actually going to pull the trigger? So you get all these debates. So you can't judge that, because you're not inside of his head. Was that a good thing? Was that a bad thing? It's just a thing. So People in their 20s, in their teens, and their 30s, you shape the tree at that age. In other words, if you let the wind knock you down, you got a crooked tree. If you stake it up, firm, good foundation, that tree's going to go straight. That's the age where you firm up your life. Build a good foundation. Don't be in a big hurry. Don't try to find all the answers. Don't question everything. The only person you ever question is yourself. You know, am I doing this out of love? Only question you got to ask. Am I doing this out of love? That means love for yourself as well. Depression is one of the worst things that's happening to this generation. I grew up, you know, people talked about depression once in a while, but I think it's multiplied. I think there's so much more going on in life now, and we're more sensitive to all the ills of the world. I mean, you turn on a TV in a half hour, you find out about terrorism, mass murders, suicides, corrupt politicians. I mean, you go, the list goes on and on and on, worldwide. I don't think having all that news real quick like is really a healthy thing. I think sometimes ignorance is bliss. Do you need any of that to function? No, there's no terrorism in my town. Why do I need to know about it 3,000 miles away? So there's a lot of anxiety for this group. Plus, there's expectations, there's pressures. My God, being a young person, people say, oh, it's great. No, I'm saying being a young person now is really, it's a heavy thing. It's like, they're looking at the world now, at my generation and my parents' generation, thinking, thanks, guys. You've drained the swamp. Yeah, we just got the swamp now. Come on. You've used up all the resources. You've polluted the place. You've done this, you've done that. You know, are we leaving the world a better place? So young people got to take a look at it and say, geez, every other generation that's come before and had the same condemnation with their generation ahead of them. I'm saying, you know, take a look at your own. What are you going to add? What are you going to add? You studied philosophy, you come out, you got these beautiful thoughts. It's like a guy reading a great spiritual book or inspiring book, the great thoughts. They don't become anything until you make that philosophy of life yours. That's where it's at. So in a roundabout way, I'm telling people, love where you're at, love what you do, love who you are, love who you're with. The secret is all in love. And you will find the right path. But not everybody can build a website and have a blog, and you know, not everything everybody wants to say is so important. And you know, and I want to be discovered on there and have and advertise. You know, I see these people because they're an influencer. I mean, my God, everybody wants their 15 minutes of fame. Does that make you a better person? Are the Kardashians any happier than anybody else? I mean, we don't want to judge them. They're making a profit. Great, good for them. But there's other things to do with life, like interaction with real people. So, yeah. So young people, look after yourself, meaning clean your soul, make your spirit healthy. Healthy body, I see guys out there at the gym, great. Healthy mind, they're studying things, they're getting college degrees, great. But if you haven't balanced it with the third leg of the stool, spiritual life, physical life, and mental, emotional state. They all got to be in balance. Because you're a crazy man you're a serial killer, but you're meditating every day. Oh, and you got a good, healthy body. Well, you missed the point someplace along the line, right? Or if you're meditating, but you never exercise, you're 300 pounds and, you know, and you missed a point. Or if you're crazy in a not technical sense, but crazy in all kinds of ways, doing stupid stuff, you're not getting anywhere either. So it's all about balance. Have fun. Well, what's your idea of fun? If is your idea of fun, leading to the light or taking you to darkness? I mean, is your idea of fun getting stoned, drunk, you know, beating up somebody, you know, getting all high from robbing somebody, or is your idea of fun going to the beach and just enjoying a sunrise, you know, having a conversation with somebody? I used to think fun, believe it or not, and I think you'd understand. I used to think fun was sitting around with a couple of guys talking about why are we here? You know, oh, you know, just a philosophical, you know, conversation, you know, like, and then learning the importance of shutting up and let the other guy talk. You know, just, you know, I know what I think. Because you start off and you want to share. Hey, here's what I know. And it's out of love, you want to share, you know. And then all of a sudden you realize, wow, there's somebody else here who has something to share. And when you realize somebody else has something to share, then you get it. Now you're moving right. So I have great hopes, high hopes, in fact, for this generation. I'm thinking this generation, this is a new root race. This is the beginning of the indigo child. This is something that we are evolving to. Our spiritual DNA is changing, starting with this current generation, those people that are 45 and less. I mean, this is a new energy. The baby boomers were on the edge of this thing, I think. But I think this new group, especially those that are still teens, there's something out there that they're fresh. They're hungry for the light. They come in and they're not satisfied just doing a job. They're not satisfied just getting a retirement. They're not satisfied just doing the status quo. They want to know, no, why am I working? Why am I doing this job? Why am I here? Why are you here? Why are we here? What's going on? So they're not satisfied with the status quo, and that's good if it doesn't cripple them into inaction. So those questions are worthy of attention, philosophically, emotionally, and spiritually. But ultimately, the only way you're going to resolve that, I mean, you start off, how do you start off? Books, of course, and listening to people and videos and stuff. That gives you a lot of knowledge and others people's knowledge. But if somebody's talking about samadhi, let's say, going into some great states of meditation, hearing it talked about and reading about it doesn't give you one iota of what's really there. Didn't help you any. It may stir your hunger and desire to get it, but it hasn't done anything for you. Whereas I tell you, sit up, breathe, visualize the energy going up and down your spine, you know, the heat, the cold, whatever it is. I got you doing a mantra, and I leave you alone. Now, you don't have to ask those questions. Inner wisdom will come. You will find the answers within yourself. And when you have one of those higher states, altered states, different energy level, you will know what it feels like to be one with a tree, one with someone else, one with the universe. And when you have that, once you have that feeling of oneness with what surrounds you and everything, no longer will you be judging others because they're not like you. You'll never be judging others because they don't think and act like you. They're not the same race. They're not the same creed. They're not the same religion. And not only that, you will realize that in reality, there's no separation between them and you, between all of you and the source. That truly the source itself, the divine, God, is one. And so honestly, what we're all seeking, flat out, is to know that oneness again. The trouble is, we have an ego. I'm not talking about egotistical stuff. I mean, just talk about just ego. You take guys as a saint, you still got an ego. Anytime you still got a body, whether it's an astral body, physical body, casual body, rainbow body, body of light, whatever, it's a body. That means the spirit is identified as a self. It hasn't realized fully realized its oneness. And so even though it's in an exalted state, I mean exalted, it's still separated. It still thinks that it is its own dream. It hasn't realized that it's the dreamer of all this. And so when you wake up, literally wake up, you realize that it's all God's dream. None of this, none of us, none of anything was ever real. Never was, never will be. It's all love stuff. God is love. So unfortunately, we dream things with our free will that are painful, bring discomfort, discord, darkness. But we've dreamt these problems, and we can also, through our own free will and action, undream these problems, the solutions. Well, that's what I would tell somebody if they're young. Just focus on your meditation, always. You got to work, you got to feed yourself. Don't rely on others to feed you. When you're perfectly healthy, you got everything working, and you got a good mind and body, you owe it to the universe to take care of your own supplies and needs. Do the best you can, whatever that means. You know, if a job doesn't give you a lot of great, it's not a great job, but it feeds you, great. If you can get a better job, make more money, take better care of yourself so you can pursue things, great. If you can get comfortable so you have more time for meditation and more time for, you know, like traveling to India or something that helps you spiritually, great, go for it. If you can help others, great. Nothing wrong with any of that. Just don't get hung up with hating your status quo. Appreciate where you're at. Evolve, change it. Love something else. Don't leave something because you hate it. Leave something because you love something more. I hope that answers the question for you.
Yeah, it definitely answers it. And yeah, I'm just kind of sitting and swimming in the this love that you're talking about. So I don't really have any more kind of mental questions. So I'll just kind of think this is a good time to wrap up. But I really, really appreciate your time and energy and sharing a lot of your experiences, because it's not just about the story. It's also about like what does the listener get out of all of your stories, and how are they going to apply what they learn from your stories in their life?
As I'm looking at you, all the background is gone. Just white. It's odd. I'm just really kind of just showing you because I know that you had a window there. Okay, it's back again. See, now my conscious mind knows it's there, so I find it again. But for a while there, it was just the last 3-4 minutes, total white blaze of light. Your whole background was just light with your body shadowed in front of it. Just
Very interesting, yeah.
Or I'm crazy, one of the two. But yeah, so it's like, you know, I tell stories, that's great, it inspires people, but I really get the thrust of why I'm here once I get past the stories. That's just an attention thing. Like the deeper things. You know, marriage. That's a huge subject people just kind of floss over, you know. That's a beautiful thing. Raising children, beautiful thing. Being close to nature, having a pet. I mean, all these things inspire me in different ways. Like people, they say, what do you mean pets? What you talk about pets? I look at pets as just another reflection of God and how non-judgmental a dog is, you know. Of course, cats are judgmental, but dogs aren't. You know, it's a beautiful thing when you have an animal and a pet, because they got a group soul, according to all the Hindus and everything. They got a group soul. They evolve. But all these great masters that I've ever talked to in these gurus, they all tell me that human love for their pet accelerates their spiritual evolution. Very act of petting a dog or a cat, other animal, your energy rubbing off on them helps that animal to evolve. I was told that and I thought, wow, because you ever wonder why an animal likes being petted? They're just taking that energy from you. It's like, I mean, even people like Hitler and nasty people had dogs and they loved them and pet them. Animals want that human energy. So do trees. So does water. So does the very air that you breathe. So when you get to that point and you have experiences, you realize there's no differences in any of those things. They're all made out of atoms, particles, right? They all got quirks and strings, I mean, everything. So the very essence, they're all the same. And they tell me that matter is 99.999% matter. The rest is space, or it's 99 space. It's only a little tiny bit, just point something of matter. So there's a lot of emptiness. We don't even know what that emptiness is. But the only emptiness I ever worry about is in people's hearts, when they can't feel for others. And those people need our love the most. The person that's done you the most harm is the person you should be praying for the most. People that you hurt, you should be praying for them. But the people that have hurt you, they need your love, not your judgment, not your anger. Blessings and peace to you. We'll do more anytime you want. Feel free to bliss out, enjoy life, and know that in the end, the only thing that's important is not who loves you, it's your love.
Thank you, Bill.
All right. God bless.
God bless. Have a good rest of your day.
All right.
All right. Bye.